A year ago, I published this video where I talked about the top digital product mistakes many Etsy sellers make, including myself, and today is one of my top performing videos. I received so much feedback from you guys with additional questions that I wanted to recreate the video and give you an actionable plan with actual steps of everything you need to do to make money from digital products. So if you are currently struggling with your digital products and you want to learn the secret to selling digital products that sell, make sure to stick around until the end. Hi, and welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Nancy, and I help small business owners turn their passions into profits. Make sure to subscribe for weekly videos. So I have been selling digital products on Etsy since 2016. And after 14,000 sales, I have learned a lot from my mistakes and success. And I'm going to be sharing my most valuable tips with you guys today that will help you get started the right way when selling digital products on Etsy. So let's talk about first why sell digital products versus physical goods. So the main benefit is low overhead costs. So no more expensive materials, no need for inventory or shipping charges. The second benefit is high profit margins. You make more money because there's no cost for inventory or delivery. The third benefit is potential to automate. You could get your orders delivered instantly, which means you don't have to be hands-on with fulfillment. Benefit number 4 is flexible products. You can offer free products to build your email list, or you can license to use your digital products. You have many options as to how you incorporate digital products into your Etsy business. Tip number 5, low cost startup. If you're starting your Etsy business, it's so much cheaper to sell digital products compared to selling physical goods. So let's dive into the 7 tips. Tip number 1 is validate your product ideas. So you probably heard me talk about validating your product ideas all the time in this channel. And that's because in the past, I have failed miserably when skipping this part when it comes to building a sustainable business for the long run. So think about how pointless putting forth all of this energy for days, weeks, months to building a product nobody actually wants. In my Etsy Mastery course, I have an entire module on finding your profitable niche. And I teach my students how to find a niche market that you could dominate on, become an industry leader, and have a viable customer audience. To have a successful Etsy digital download business, you must validate your digital product ideas before creating them. Tip number 2, add your unique selling proposition. So now that you have done the work and validated your product idea and chosen the digital product that you want to sell on Etsy, the next step is making sure that you add your USP. So simply put, your unique selling proposition is what makes your digital products different from everyone else in your market. So the unique selling proposition will help you communicate the key factors that separate your product from your competitors. That's simply put. So when working on your unique selling proposition, make sure to include these key factors. This is going to help you define your USP. The first one is clearly define your differentiator. So your USP should be something that sets you apart from other Etsy businesses and defines how your company does business. This is an important factor for success because it ensures customers are not getting another similar product from someone else with slightly different features. Instead, they're receiving service or a product specifically tailored towards their needs. And this helps you because it leads them back to your products in the future. Tip number 2 is clarity on your value. When you are identifying your differentiator, make sure to be clear on why that's helpful or useful. Use examples when applicable so the reader understands exactly what they can get out of it for themselves in their own situation. And the last tip is add credibility with social proof. So human beings, right, are primarily instinctive, emotional creatures who make decisions based on what they see and hear. So as such, it's important to use all channels of communication available to create trust with your perspectives. And one way you could do so is by adding credibility through social media proof. Don't forget also to add an engaging hook that will get them interested enough to take action. Tip number 3 is create digital products for a niche market. So far you have validated the digital product idea, you have chosen what type of digital products you'll be selling, and added your unique selling proposition to make it irresistible, right? So the next step is to make sure that you stay within a niche market. You want to focus on a unique target market versus targeting your products to everyone. This strategy will help you create product based on your specific audience needs. It's going to be the quickest way to grow your Etsy business, gain credibility as an expert within your niche, and attract the right people for your products. It's the fastest way to grow your business. Stay in your lane. Don't get distracted by shiny object syndrome, and give your business time to grow. Tip number 4 is turn audience pain points into content. I'll say that again. Turn your audience pain points into content. So what does that mean? You can create content willy-nilly on whatever topics come to mind. The easiest way to attract the right audience for your products is by developing content that speaks to their pain points. So I'll give you an example. I have an Etsy shop that's all about wedding printables. And one of the pain points that I often talk about on my Etsy listing description and also on social media and anywhere else that I promote my business is how overwhelmed and burnt out brides get trying to plan their special day. I sell a wedding planner that has a specific checklist of all the things that a bride has to do on a monthly basis. And this helps them take that long to-do list and breaks it down into smaller monthly goals that everything seems achievable. And they can actually enjoy the process of planning their wedding instead of being so stressed out. So I create intentional content talking about brides' pain points, and that attracts the right audience. It gets me engagement, but the most important, it gets me clicks to my products, and is also one of my top bestsellers. One of the top Etsy sellers' mistake is not understanding their audience pain points, posting irrelevant content, and then treating their social media as a billboard to sell and not selling the value of their digital products. Tip number 5, don't rely on Etsy SEO only. I recommend from the start using at least another platform to drive traffic back to your digital products. My favorite platform, which you often hear me talk about, is Pinterest. You can exponentially start driving tons of traffic on autopilot using Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I usually just bash out my monthly pins in just a couple hours. I only do this once a month, and I use Tailwind to automate everything for me. And Pinterest works for me every single day, even if I don't log in. And it drives traffic back to my products, my services, my email, and etc. And I'm going to leave a referral link to Tailwind in the description box below if you'd like to try them out for 30 days for free. It's by far one of the best investments that I have ever made for my business, and I highly recommend it for your Etsy business. Tip number 6 is be prepared to deal with individuals who resell your content. This has been the most frustrating part of selling digital products online. I used to get super annoyed and lose sleep over this. And after speaking to several of my colleagues, what I realized is that this happens pretty often, especially when you start growing your online presence. And the number one thing I recommend is having a legal professional create a one-page cease and desist notice. This letter would nicely inform and warn copycats of any copyright infringement, giving them a short period to take your materials off their shop or anywhere else you found it, and it works. Now, the reason why I was affected by this mostly was my fault. I would create videos and I would share my top store on Facebook groups, and I would use my store as an example of what a successful digital shop looks like. And that's when I started noticing other people copying from me, buying from me, using my own work on their shop, using my shop name as a tag, including the same description, even my name on the bottom by mistake. And it was really frustrating. I remember at one point I had over 10 stores in a matter of months that had copied the majority of my listings. So that's when I created my new shop, my smaller one for tutorials. I ended up changing my shop name. I ended up changing my social media profiles for that particular store. It sucks, but having the one-page cease and desist, and now I'm really careful where I place my shop link, really has helped me get it under control. It still happens occasionally when somebody steals my work. This also doesn't mean that it should discourage you from trying digital products. It just means that you have to realize that it could happen to you as well. Tip number 7, expect bad reviews. So what do I mean by this? This is another huge problem you will face when selling digital products. Many buyers never heard of digital products, is their first time buying a digital product, or they don't know how to download it. I actually created a script where I explain how to download the files in detail. I provide that information in the message to buyers for digital items that Etsy sends automatically. And I provide it on Etsy Conversations if they reach out to me automatically. You want to make sure that you solve their issue as soon as possible. Avoid going the back and forth. They get more frustrated. And try to diffuse the situation and help them as much as possible. By providing great customer service, this should, 1, diffuse the situation, and 2, avoid them leaving you a bad review. So there you have it, an actionable plan, step by step, what you need to do to start an Etsy digital business the right way. Make sure to check out these additional videos on the screen to help you grow your Etsy digital business. And thanks for watching.